So picture this. It's September 21st, 2025, around 9:30 NATO time. There's this super fancy resort in Crimea called the Foros Sanatorium. Now, this isn't just any beach hotel where regular people go on vacation. This place is where Russia's most important and powerful people hang out. We're talking generals, spies, and big government bosses. According to the Russian-appointed leader of Crimea, the attack ended up killing 3 people and hurting 16 others. This wasn't some random building either. This resort belonged to Russia's most protected, rich and powerful folks. It was built to be super luxurious and super secret. Inside that night, you could hear fancy crystal glasses clinking together, people laughing, and the sound echoing through those shiny marble hallways. Everyone thought it was going to be a nice, relaxing evening, a time to feel comfortable, make secret plans, and enjoy the good life. But guess what? Out there beyond what anyone could see, flying silently over the Black Sea, something way smaller but a million times more dangerous was coming straight for them. Suddenly, total chaos broke out in what was usually a peaceful, quiet resort. Visitors started running around, trying to get out as fast as they could. You had guests grabbing their suitcases and kids, rushing through hallways filled with smoke. The sound of their footsteps was bouncing off those marble floors. Everyone was probably thinking the same thing. How is this even happening? How did Ukraine manage to pull off such an unbelievable attack and get their drones way deep inside an area that's supposed to be one of Russia's most heavily protected zones? Here's the thing. Ukraine's strike wasn't just some lucky accident or random choice. Nope, this was carefully planned using super advanced robot technology and really good spy information. The star of the mission was this drone boat called the Mura 55. It's about 16 feet long, made of fiberglass, and designed to be almost completely invisible to radar. Plus, it's fast enough to zoom past most of the defenses along the coast. This boat moved in the dark of night, sneaking across the Black Sea like a ghost you can't see. And here's the cool part. Inside its small body, it was carrying 6 attack drones called OSAF-PV drones. Each OSA drone is small enough that you could fit it in a backpack, but don't let the size fool you. These little guys are armed with a 1.5-pound special explosive charge that's shaped to do maximum damage. They're built to punch through super strong concrete walls and armored targets by focusing all the explosive power into one concentrated jet of super hot melted copper. Once the Mura B-5 boat got to its launch spot near the Crimean shore, these flying precision weapons could be sent out to hit really important targets with surgical precision, meaning they hit exactly what they're aiming for. The target they chose was the Foros Resort and the fancy government vacation homes around it. But this place was way more than just somewhere to relax on vacation. These fancy estates are used as secret meeting places for Russian generals, spy agency officers, and senior military planners. By attacking here, Ukraine wasn't just blowing up a building. They were messing up a location used for planning military strategy, and they were sending a clear message. Even Russia's most protected hideouts aren't safe anymore. The attack wasn't just about making Russians feel scared and hurt their confidence. It also had a practical goal: making Russian control of the Black Sea weaker and protecting Ukraine's ability to ship grain to other countries through that area. At exactly 7:31 p.m., just 3 miles away from the Crimean coastline, the Mura FY-5 boat slows down. It sends out one final laser signal for guidance, passing control to its children, the 6 drones, before disappearing back into the shadows of the sea lanes. Now the whole mission depends on these 6 tiny machines. They should be too small to matter, right? But they're carrying the hopes of an entire nation on their little frames. Boom! Instantly, the OSA drones speed up like race cars. Their tiny engines roar to life, pushing them forward at 60 miles per hour across the waves. Water spray jumps up all around them. The salty smell sticks to their frames as they zip just above the surface of the water, flying so low they almost look like they're tasting the sea itself. But these drones aren't just racing in straight lines like crazy kamikazes. They're following a super smart strategy born from both desperation and brilliance. A plan created by Ukraine's military intelligence team. And they gave it a name that sounds like something from a ghost story: the Ghost Chain. So here's where it gets really clever. The lead drone suddenly shoots out a burst of metallic confetti, about 500 shiny strips of aluminum foil called chaff that scatter everywhere like a snowstorm made of silver. If you're just looking with your eyes, it seems like nothing more than trash blowing in the wind. But to the electronic eyes of Russian radar systems, it's complete chaos. The cloud shows up as a storm of fake signals, hundreds of pretend targets suddenly blooming on their radar screens. Meanwhile, the 5 other drones slip quietly behind this screen of confusion. Hidden by all that electronic noise, they become invisible hunters, hiding in the shadows created by rocks and sea. These drones hug the cliffs of Foros really tight, staying in the radar blind spots, areas where radar can't see because of the rocks themselves. Up ahead, there's a Russian patrol boat just sitting there, searching the night with sensors and scopes. The drones time their next move with super precise timing, the kind of precision only machines can do. For exactly 2.7 seconds, they rise above the waterline just enough to jump over an obstacle. They expose themselves for barely 12 feet before vanishing again into the folds of shadow. It's like a dance with mathematics where one wrong move means death. Then Mother Nature decides to join the party. A brutal blast of wind sweeps across the Black Sea, 20 knots strong, slamming into the fragile bodies of the drones. Drone number 3, the weakest one in the group, feels it the worst. Its antenna, already damaged from salt water, starts to fail. A tiny targeting error of just 2.3 degrees suddenly turns into a big problem. The machine bucks wildly in the air, jerking around like a wild horse trying to throw off its rider. Hundreds of miles away, deep underground in a bunker in Odessa, an operator's hands are dripping with sweat as he grips his controls. He sees the error getting bigger and bigger on his screen. He watches that tiny dot on his monitor shaking wildly against the wind. He knows the whole mission could fall apart if he can't control this one fragile little bird. His breathing gets short and quick as he fights the storm using nothing but the pressure of his fingertips and pure nerve. On the cliffs above, a Russian Special Forces soldier called Spetsnaz is scanning the horizon with an expensive thermal scope, looking for targets. To him, this patrol duty is just routine and boring, until suddenly it's not. A quick flash of heat cuts across his lens. A target. He raises his electromagnetic rifle, a weapon designed to destroy electronic circuits with invisible energy, takes aim and fires. The lead decoy drone spasms and shakes as its electronics get fried instantly. Sparks shoot into the night before the machine crashes into the sea. The Russian soldier calls in his victory on the radio, not knowing that he just killed a ghost, not the real threat. Without realizing it, he's actually cleared the path for the true killers crawling silently below him. But his warning call wakes up the Russian defense system. Near the city of Yalta, a Pantsir S-1 missile battery lights up. The operators don't see 5 small drones. They see one massive fake target, the illusion created by that aluminum chaff. The system screams out an alarm. "Enemy coming in!" A command echoes through the control room. A missile worth millions of dollars roars up into the sky, speeding up to Mach 3. That's 3 times the speed of sound. In Odessa, the Ukrainian operator watches the missile streak across his screen. His lips curl into a dry smile. "Go ahead," he mutters quietly. "Burn your fortune on smoke." Seconds later, the missile destroys the chaff cloud in a spectacular fireball. Russian commanders cheer, thinking they've scored a kill. In reality, they've just blown up nothing more than air and aluminum foil. While the defenders are celebrating their fake victory, the Mura 55 boat plays another trick card. From 10 miles offshore, it sends out a false electronic signal, pretending to be a bigger ship. A Russian patrol boat takes the bait and turns away from its position, chasing this fake prize. Now the path is clear for the drone swarm, but Russia's anger isn't so easily fooled. Sirens scream across the city of Sevastopol. From a nearby airbase, a Su-30 fighter jet claws into the night sky. Its afterburners paint fiery streaks against the darkness. This is a machine built for total air control, a flying predator worth $50 million. It's armed with missiles designed to erase anything that flies. Against plywood and carbon fiber drones, it should be an unstoppable killing machine. Yet the swarm refuses to play by the jet's rules. At a signal, the 6 drones break their formation apart. 2 drop even lower, their shapes swallowed up by the clutter of the sea. 3 climb higher, rising to 200 feet. Suddenly, the pilot's hunt isn't simple anymore. He's dealing with a geometry problem that no weapon can solve. Multiple threats at different heights weaving toward targets near areas with regular people where he can't safely shoot. Frustrated, Russia unleashes its invisible hammer. A blanket of electronic warfare 5 miles wide floods the sky. It's like an electromagnetic hurricane meant to blind, make deaf, and kill the control connections back in Odessa. Screens turn into fuzzy static. For a moment, the operators lose their connection to the drones. The defense network thrashes around desperately, throwing steel and fire into the night. And then Ukraine plays its boldest trick yet. One drone changes its signal, disguising itself as a civilian passenger airplane. It broadcasts codes that scream, "I'm a passenger plane," and its path angles toward a school. Inside the bunker, the Ukrainian operator whispers calmly and deadly, "Steady!" Now 4 green locks light up on his screen. The main hall is in their sights. The Russian defenders open fire with everything they have. The Panzer's cannons spit out 4,000 rounds per minute, a storm of steel roaring through the night. The sky becomes a furnace of tracer bullets and explosions. The second warhead finds the kitchens. Gas lines rupture and break open. A secondary explosion consumes half the building. The third one smashes into the garage, setting fire to an armored limousine worth $750,000, turning luxury into a column of flame. The fourth tears into the central event hall, completely destroying the very table where secret plans were being drawn up. Light images flicker across his screen. His body slumps with exhaustion, but a thin smile creeps across his face. The lesson here is ancient but eternal. It never gets old. Even the mightiest empire can be brought down by the smallest weapon if the strike hits true and accurate. The ghost chain has done its work. The sea itself has become Ukraine's weapon. And the empire across the waves, loud, brutal, and seemingly immovable, stands revealed for what it truly is, a sandcastle before the tide. So the question remains for everyone watching this unfold. Was this an act of pure tactical genius, or something even more profound and deep? You decide. The battlefield has changed forever, and the smallest machines may yet prove to be the sharpest arrows in history's quiver.